It's the Peel Appeal with author and corrective exercise specialist Matt Peel.
Hi, this is Matt Peel with the Peel Appeal. Welcome to episode 13, which is Start with Small Habits for Big Success. Right? That's where it really begins, with the small stuff. Right? Don't sweat the small stuff. I've heard people say that. Well, let's start small, right? Losing 25 pounds, that's a pretty daunting task for anyone. Right? It's easy to put that 25 pounds on, but it's pretty hard to take it off. So especially if you've never exercised in your life and all of a sudden you say, hey, I need to get this weight off, or maybe the doctor told you. So how can you get into the habit of exercising in the first place when you've never even done it before? So today we're going to talk about that and how you can get those small steps going so that you can have the big success at the end of the day there at the end of the rainbow. So as you know, every journey literally, and I mean literally, right, begins with the first step. So you got to take that first step so you can get the 25 pounds off of you, right? They don't fall off in one day, and they sure as hell don't come on in one day. Even so, you might think so. Promise you, you don't just wake up one day and you're 25 pounds heavier. That's also process. So we got to start small. So an easy way to do that is literally putting your athletic shoes on and stepping outside the door for 5 minutes. You may think I'm silly. You may think I'm whacked out of my mind. Like, oh, Matt, come on. I mean, I can do more than that. Well, maybe you can. Maybe you can't, because you're thinking of the 25 pounds and you just have to get that off. But that's too big to think about. So let's go super small. Put your shoes on, brah. Put those shoes on, step outside the door for 5 minutes, right? Then come back inside. Don't even worry about doing anything else. Shoes on, 5 minutes outside the door, then come back in. It's an easy way to get started and keep you motivated on your first step. Once you master that, you'll automatically progress. Say, well, shit, I'm standing outside here. Might as well walk, right? What else am I going to do? Go back inside and same thing. I mean, humans want to improve. They want to progress. So that's natural. So, hey, now you go for a walk. Now you've mastered that 5 minutes, put the shoes on. Now you're going for the walk, right? The next steps automatically come. Maybe from there, then you want to walk a little further. Maybe it's jogging. Maybe you say, well, you know what? I've done this now for however long, a month, 2 months. I think it's time to join a gym. But it all started because you put your shoes on and stood outside your door for 5 minutes. That's it. That's all you've got to do. I promise you, right? It's super simple and it's easy. All starts with that 5 minutes. Just remember that. Put your shoes on, step outside the door for 5 minutes. You know, if you're listening, you think, oh, I'm way beyond that. I'm not that low on motivation. Great. So what? There's still something that's stopping you, maybe from starting or taking that next step. So let's go back to that 5 minutes goal. So in addition to not just doing the new habit, right, you got to break yourself of the old habit. And that old habits are triggered in your environment. When you're in the same place and you're doing, a negative habit or a bad habit every day, then you got to take yourself out of that environment. So let's say, for example, you come in from work and you go to the kitchen and you open up a Coke. You have a Coke and a peanut butter jelly sandwich. Well, that's your trigger, right? Is you go into the kitchen. When you're in the kitchen, the trigger from there is, hey, time to have a Coke and peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So how do you get out of that? Don't even get in the kitchen. Don't even go there. Come in. What do? Boom. Put your shoes on. Step outside for 5 minutes. Now that you're outside, you're out of that environment. You don't have the trigger to have a Coke and that peanut butter and jelly sandwich because you're not in the kitchen. It's physically impossible to make that when you're not in the kitchen. So you don't even have to worry about it. That's how your new habits are going to stick. If you change your environment for that new habit to happen, get out of the other environment, have the negative habit going on, now you're really in a position for success. So you say, well, Matt, shit, I can do that. I can do that for a few days a week. Well, it's going to take more than a few days a week. There's the bad news for you. New habits, good or bad, take around 62 days. That's right. I said it correctly. 62 days to solidify. Not 21, not 7, not 3 hours, right? It's 62 days. The more you do whatever action you're trying to change, then it can maybe be a little less than 62 days. But if it says something once a week you're trying to change, it may take longer because of your lack of frequency. So if you can do a new habit more frequently, then maybe it'll take a little less than 62 days, but on average, that's what it is. So go in for the long haul. Don't just say, 21 days, hey, woohoo, guess what? New habit started. How come I still want to do the old habit? Because you haven't done it long enough. You're barely a third of the way there, all right? So remember that, 62 days. And finally, what you got to do is track your progress along the way. You only got to get 1% better. Again, don't think, well, I got to lose 5 pounds this week. If I don't lose these 5 pounds this week, then I'm fucked. It'll never happen. I'm done. See you. Wait till next January. No, it doesn't work that way. Right? Work on 1% getting better over a specific time period. Okay, so I need to put my shoes on and step outside every day, let's say for 14 days. I get a point. Not 2 days, not 3 days. Something you got to stretch for to really earn your point, but not so impossible that it's daunting and you set yourself up for failure. From there, hey, you get that point. How do I get another point? Well, I'm going to go walk for 15 minutes for the next 14 days. Guess what? You're still putting your shoes on. So you've gotten your point for putting your shoes on for 14 days. Now you still continue that for another 14. That's 28 days. Math is hard. Damn it. I know it is. Super hard. But now you got that second point, and you're continuing to build on your new habits and automatically progress yourself. It's not hard. It's really not. It's simple. And when you set yourself for those easy wins at the beginning, that's an easy win. Then it gives you the motivation to do it, right? Shoes on, outside, easy win, no problem. Doesn't take a lot of thinking. Next step, at least walk around the block. Still, not a whole lot of thinking. Easy steps. You can do it, man. I'm telling you, right? So start small with that, but make the punishment for keeping those bad habits severe enough so that you won't do them. It doesn't mean cutting your hand off just because you made that sandwich. But whatever it is to you that's severe enough that if you do it, you're not going to want to do it again. So that's obviously a very subjective line. You can't just make it easy that no big deal. I'll still make it. The penalty's not severe. No, it's got to be severe enough so you won't do that negative habit again. And then you're on your way. You're on your way to losing that 25 pounds. Super easy, super simple. And now you keep building. Next thing you know, you're at the gym. Instead of worrying about when I'm going to put my shoes on, you're thinking about your workout, right? That's how far you've come. But it all starts with that first step. So if you need help developing new habits, hey, guess what? Your Uncle Matt's here, right? Everyone needs a support system when they get started. Let me help you get there. Email me at athleteinthegameoflife@gmail.com and put new habit in the subject line. Let's get a Zoom meeting going and discussion, determine, hey, what's the direction you want to go? And maybe I can be the one to help you along that way. So, hey, first consultation's free, I promise. And why not get some professional help the way you need it? So again, email me, athleteinthegameoflife@gmail.com. Until next time, this is Matt Peel with the Peel Appeal, and I will talk to you later.
Are you ready to get in the game?